Candice Lill, third place.
Candice Lill, second place today.
Candice Lill, her goal forever was to make the podium, and she's done it today. We heard from Candice Lill. She's been fighting for this for years and years with us.
Okay, so Candice, thanks for your time. So we are meeting after a huge weekend for you. It has been a very special weekend, and we'll discuss about it a little bit. Congrats again on that weekend. That has been really special. And let's get into it. So,
thank you.
First of all, I would like you to tell us a little bit about that journey until that weekend. Coming from, maybe we can start around your second place at the World Championship in junior category.
Yeah, wow.
I think it's a good start.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a long time ago. It feels like a different lifetime ago, that result, really. I think, yeah, as many people probably know or don't know, I came third actually at Junior World Championships, at my first World Championships, which is quite unusual, I guess, but also an indication of, I think, talent. Not necessarily an indication of hard work or anything yet, but just an indication that you have what it takes. So that for me was, at the time, something that was quite, it didn't really mean so much to me because it was my first one. I had no idea what to expect or anything. But later in the coming years, it became evident that that was actually a really big result, because I had some years that were really challenging on a lot of fronts. And I would say after the results at Junior Worlds, I didn't necessarily get the support that I needed, or, I mean, I'm grateful for the way everything worked out, but because I didn't get the support then, it made for quite a few years of trying and failing a lot of the time. And fast forward to now, I think I'm finally at 32 years old, in the place where I can say I'm happy to just, well, I have the means and the support to be able to race my bike the way that I know that I can. But basically over all the years, it was a lot of stress, a lot of forging relationships, personal sponsors, yeah, just really risking a lot of stuff, not having anything to fall back on. And yeah, just really grateful for where I am today.
Yeah. And actually, that was my next question about the fact that you are currently a privateer rider still, which is not really common at your level. And we can see on the ranking of the last weekend, you are basically the only one with no official UCI team under your name.
Yeah.
And how does it affect your day-to-day? I mean, maybe in some ways it makes some things easier, but also I guess it makes things more difficult because you're more or less on your own with Darren doing everything.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, Darren is basically your manager, your mechanics, your partner in life, and is doing a lot.
Yeah, he calls himself Kippy, which is like a word used to describe someone that just does everything.
That's a good description.
Which is a good word for him. Look, as you say, I don't think it's definitely not a normal setup. It's not the way that a lot of people have done it, but over the years I've come to grow quite proud and fond of our setup. As I said, it took really long to build, hence my mom calling me a late bloomer. I think she's quite correct. It just took longer than everyone else, but right now I'm really happy and proud of what we've been able to build. And for now, the setup works really well. We found our different ways. We've also got Tyler Jacobs with us. She's an under 23 racing, the under 23 World Cup. So at the moment with the World Cups, it's the three of us, and we all have our, I guess, different roles to play within the team, in our little team. And yeah, I think it's nice because it's not complicated. It's, I guess there's always positives and negatives. Like it is great to have a team as well, but this way it can also feel just normal, like home. I do cooking and cleaning, and in a World Cup week, I laughed, like pretty much because the whole of Friday before the short track, I made a chicken stew. I really enjoy cooking, actually. So this was like my pre-race routine. As you say, different, but I'm just really happy in this environment.
Yeah. And in a way, don't you think it's maybe one of the reasons why you're at that level now? I mean, I can remember I had this discussion with some guys from the Cannondale team during the Cape Epic, because people might know that you partnered with Mona Mitterweiner for the Cape Epic this year. So I had the opportunity to discuss with them, and they said how much they were impressed and how nice it was to have you in the team, because you and Darren were so clockwise on
Yeah.
everything, so professional.
Yeah. I mean, Darren has a really good gauge of professionalism. He's come from a road racing background himself, and he's worked with multiple teams and different staff and over the years. And he really knows professionalism, and also obviously what I need and what I want and everything like that. So I think it hasn't always been easy, like, to mix between different roles with Darren, because I mean, first and foremost, he's my husband, and it should remain that way. But I think we've worked out a really good way of operating together as a team, that's also like professional and business orientated, but then we still keep the balance in life with our relationship and just our normal life. So as I say, like, we've just reached a really good balance with that. I think sometimes having more staff and extra team members and everything also adds complication. This is just really simple. We know it works. There's not a lot of demands on us from like multiple people during a World Cup week or during a race week. So I think it's just simple, straightforward. We get it done, and we know how to do it now.
That's nice. That's really nice. And congrats for that. It's
Thank you.
not easy every day, I guess.
No, not always. But whose life is easy every day?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
When you see that podium you were on Sunday, it was a very prestigious podium. I mean, besides the fact that it was a World Cup, you had on the same podium the world champ, two continental champ, one is you, of course, and two national champ jersey, I mean, because of course you are also a national champ.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of prestigious jerseys that were there. So how do you feel it's also maybe empowers you to feel like you belong there now and you can reach more?
It's really funny. I definitely feel like mine was the least prestigious jersey out there. But so for me, it was like, I felt like I was in amazing company standing on that podium, and almost a bit like, Candice, what are you even doing here? But yeah, that's why I always have the mixed emotion. I want to laugh, but also cry. Like, it was a lot of emotion. But I guess yesterday it was really difficult to really know how I felt. And I think today and in the coming days, I will realize what it is that I achieved. But at the same time, like, I'm also still Candice. Like, nothing. I'm gonna get back to work. I'm gonna have my same everyday life. Like, it's just for me as a personal thing to have stood there, to look back on it, to have stood there with those big names on that podium, especially as my first World Cup podium. It's a really, really cool achievement, even if it's just for me personally and Darren, because I know the people that support us and love us will do so no matter what. But yeah, just to have that moment as a personal victory and to share with Darren and Barry, who was also there, was really, really special.
I can imagine. I can just imagine, yeah. And on that podium, you had on the top spot Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. It's someone with who you have shared quite a long journey, meaning that
Yeah.
you are almost the same age, even if she's a little bit younger than you, I think, just a little bit.
I
But
think she's like 5 days older than
oh,
me.
really?
We're literally like exactly the same
So
age. Yeah.
basically, you're same age. So you have really shared kind of a long journey together, but I guess that it's a journey that you have looked up to her,
Yeah.
given her prestigious career. And know that you're looking at that podium, you're looking at her, she's just 2 spots upper than you. Does it
Yeah.
give you some kind of angriness to go to that spot?
I mean, not specifically against Pauline, no. And I also wouldn't say that her and I have shared a journey. I think hers has been very, very different to mine. We've been in the same sport, in the same circles, but operating in completely different circumstances. And I really admire her as a person and an athlete. I think she's done so many impressive things in this sport. And I think a lot of people are really impressed by what she's done and been able to achieve. And I think also, like, I admire that there's a lot of things. I guess she's a really smart racer. She works really hard, but she also has found a way to keep a balance in life, which I really think is cool. And yeah, for me to stand 2 places behind her, I mean, even a year ago, I would never have thought that's possible, honestly. Like, you have to believe it. And I have all along. And a few key people have also believed it for me. But like, sometimes it just feels so far out of reach. And I think for me, it was more about that standing on the podium, that, like, you know what, I've made such a big leap now. It almost feels like anything's possible. Like, first place could be there.
Yeah.
Given some time. Yeah.
Actually, we were joking about it a few weeks ago at Novemesto, just after your XCC 7th place, when I told you that you finished 10th just before in Brazil.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
7th. And this weekend you did 4th.
Yes.
So
We're edging
actually,
closer.
France Montana should be.
Yeah. I mean, so about this result and even the Novemester results, I never wanted to make it like, I mean, I know we joked, but I never wanted to make it that it's just looking ahead to the next one. Like, I want to enjoy what it is I've achieved, and whether that was a 6th or 7th place, which was amazing and a big breakthrough for me as well. I want to just, like, stay in that for a little bit. And the same with this. I don't want to, I mean, even though we have France Montana coming up next weekend in a few days, really, I don't want it to take away from the moment that I feel now. And I think it's very important to enjoy that moment, like, and not say, okay, I came 3rd or 4th this weekend, so that means that I can come 1st or 2nd next weekend. It doesn't always work like that, as we know. And I think mentally to just enjoy the moment is really important for me.
And I think you're right. You're totally right.
I've learned a thing or two along the way.
talking about that and talking about um, that wish that you had for maybe forever since you have been on a bike, and that journey that you have done. Um, we all know that especially in the women category, in the mountain biking, and maybe in the cycling more generally, it's hard. It's hard
Yeah,
to fit. It's hard to do what you love and have everything together, as you said, to be able to perform at your maximum
yeah,
um, possibilities.
yeah,
And what what would you, because you are now a little bit experienced and you have a lot of people who are looking at you, as we said, you maybe looked up to Pauline, but you have a lot of people who are looking up to you. And what kind of advices you could maybe give them, provide them on following that journey or another journey to their goals?
yeah. I think there's a few things I've learned along the way. The first thing is there's no specific one way to do anything or to reach any goal that you want in life. I think, it's easy to look at other people that have achieved the thing that you want to achieve and think that you have to do the same thing in order to reach that goal. And it's not true at all. I mean, I think I'm an example of that, just like doing things my own way and facing everything, all the challenges that have come with me, and in a way that's shaped me into who I am and the outlook I have, and the way that I go about achieving my goals is different to another person. And I used to be a bit like embarrassed or self-conscious about that, because I come to Europe and I see all these people that have teams and professional setups and everything looks so good and rosy from the outside, and it's easy to be intimidated. But now I found that what was something that I was worried or self-conscious about is my strength. Like, and I've turned it into a strength of mine, and it's enabling me to achieve my goals. So I would just advise people, younger people working towards something, to take your own path and to own that path and take everything that it gives you, the challenges, the really big ups and downs and everything that comes along with it, and turn it into your strength and make it yours.
That's great advices.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is, yeah, I think, yeah, I guess that's pretty much summed it up, what I wanted to say.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, thank you so much, Candice. Thanks for
Thank
taking that
you.
time. And again, really, from the bottom of my heart, huge congratulations on what you are doing. It's really amazing. And I truly believe that it's just not an achievement in the sense that it's a step in your journey still, and you have beautiful things to come.
Thank you. And it's not possible without people and sponsors like you. So I really also want to say a huge thank you from my side.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Cool.
You're welcome.